Good evening and welcome in to SFBN for Philadelphia Public League action between the John Bartram Braves and the George Washington Eagles. This game taking place at Charles Martin Memorial Stadium at Northeast High School. It's a special one, the second game of a doubleheader of the Ted Silary Game of the Week. The first one happened at the South Philly Super Site, where South Philly edged out a 3-0 victory over Martin Luther King High School. We're hoping for a little bit more scoring in this one, and it's also special for another reason. The 12th anniversary of SFBN. It was August 31st, 2012, when SFBN produced their first live stream. That one, Ben Salem versus Archbishop Wood. We look forward to another 12 years here on SFBN. Now let's take a look at tonight's matchup. Again, Bartram versus Washington. Head coach James Akemi in his first season for the Braves. Head coach Austin Brash for the Eagles. Both teams 0-1. Amari Gadsden, the junior running back. The Braves are going to rely on him heavily offensively. They're only returning all public league selection. And then Donnell Stevens had 2 receptions, 59 yards, and a touchdown in GW's loss to perennial powerhouse Parkland, 62-12. We're now about set for kickoff. George Washington will receive. Bartram to send it deep. Kasim Wright will kick it as they transfer out a ball. No, it's actually going to be Omar Keita. Back deep to return it. Donnell Stevens, who we mentioned in the open. And to his right, Simeon Woods. Just after 7. And we're off here from Northeast High School. It's botched, but picking up is Donnell Stevens, making a couple guys miss. He's out towards the 40. Pretty strong return given how it started. With a little botch, Donnell Stevens. We'll look to see him feature prominently on this offense. The Eagles will start at their own 33. Two fullbacks and a running back in the backfield. Here's Scott. He hands off and trying to bounce around tackles, and now play is blown dead. I believe I heard a whistle. They still play on and not getting anywhere. That's Patrick Wright. Nice tackle on the play by Kaleem Lassiter. That will set him back about 3 yards, bringing up 2nd and 13. Tyson Scott comes in from the sideline with the play. This time they go with more receivers than running backs. One to the far side, 2 to the near side. Scott fakes a handoff. He's going to keep it himself to the left. He's got blockers ahead. He's past midfield. And that's where he's taken out of bounds by Karan Casey. As we'll take another look at this one. Scott with the handoff fake, and he just took it himself. Got a nice block by a couple of his teammates. I believe that's Jaden Tucker and Donnell Stevens leading the charge on the offensive line. Left tackle is Vincent Chen, left guard Brandon Brinkley, center Martin Gorski, right guard Cesar Colon, and Omar Muhammad, the right tackle. Scott again, looking to throw it. It's airing out deep to the right. And coming down with it, that is an excellent catch. A beautiful play. Take another look at this one. Over 2 defenders making the play. And that's going to force a timeout on the field. That catch made by Jamar Coleman. Sorry for the day. He has his jersey bunched up, so cannot make out the second number. But it's Jamar Coleman hauling in the big catch. Timeout on the field. And a word from our sponsors.
At Independence Blue Cross, we know where you come from is a part of who you are. That's why we get to know our members and their communities, which are also our communities. For more than 85 years, we've lived here, volunteered here, and earned our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. We're your hometown partner for life, and we'll never stop looking out for you.
Back to action. An early timeout there for the Braves. As the Eagles are marching down the field. 1 receiver to either side. Again, 3 men in the backfield. Tyson Scott to take the snap. Direct handoff, Patrick Wright. Bullies his way forward for a couple yards. A late surge is going to pick him up close to 7 yards, I'd say. Bringing up about 2nd and 4. Inside the 10, they can still get a first down. Should be at the 4 where they can get it. Same formation. Scott. Again to Wright. He bounces off a tackle and eventually taken down towards the line again, maybe bringing up a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. Seemingly 2 opportunities to get 1 yard here, as this is all but certainly 4 down territory unless they will look to get some early points on the board. After meeting at the sideline, Austin Brash sends his quarterback, Scott, back in to the huddle. He relays the information while the Braves look for a big-time turnover and stand. 2 receivers to the far side. Right to the left of Scott. Scott pulls it to his left, lofts it, and touchdown! Jaden Tucker. Scott rolled to his left. And in the end, it's an easy completion to Jaden Tucker. You see again, Scott just lofts that one in to Tucker as he got to the flat first. And GW takes the early lead. They look to make it 7-0. Steven Tetkowski, the lefty kicker, will put it up. And it looked to be good, but I think the Braves jumped offside there. Referees come over to the Eagles sideline, talking it over. So point not on the board yet. Tetkowski will try again. Max Bershadsky to hold it for the lefty kicker. He aligns and takes 2 steps to his right. Tetkowski. Kick is up and good. And the Eagles take the early 7-0 lead. The Bartram Braves will look to answer on the offensive end. on their first possession. A dominant drive there from the George Washington Eagles, doing it both on the ground and in the air. A really nice quarterback run on the keeper from Tyson Scott. Got some help with some blockers and aired it out to Jamar Coleman down the right sideline and finished it off after a couple rushing attempts with a lofted pass to the near side end zone. Now the Eagles will kick off to the Braves. The Braves looking for their first opportunity to put some points on the board. Tetkowski to send it deep. He approaches the ball and sends it deep. That's a strong kick. Back deep to return it is Mohamed Diallo, and he calls for the fair catch in the end zone. That'll be a touchback. So early on, Steven Tetkowski showing he has a leg, something a lot of these high school teams can't say. That a lot of them don't have a kicker with a strong leg, so certainly an advantage if they need a field goal to come up with the win late. After the touchback, the Braves will start on their 20. Samad Robinson gives it off and immediately tackled is Karan Casey. Maybe a gain of 2. Bringing up 2nd and 8. Maybe closer to 9. Nonetheless, 2nd and long. Braves huddling up here. A little bit of a different approach from the Eagles. 2 receivers to the far side. Robinson in the shotgun. Gives it a snap and taken down immediately in the backfield is Amari Gadsden. Cesar Colon blew that play up before it could even start. Gadsden couldn't get the wheels going. Cesar Colon, the starting right guard, showing his play on both ends. Third and 11 after that loss. The Eagles sideline making some noise. Robinson's going to take it to the left by himself. He's still on his feet, breaking through tackles. Does he have enough? He'll be just short. Nonetheless, a nice run there from Samad Robinson, able to keep his feet and get close. But in the end, it's going to bring up 4th and short. And backed up in their own territory, the Braves will elect to punt it away. Braves line up again, 4th and short. They'll send it away. It bounces at about the 47, and the Eagles will stay away from it. It's downed by Kasim Wright. A solid punt, though, from Jamal Bernard. An advantageous field position early on for George Washington. They started their first drive at their own 33. They'll have 10 more yards here. It looks like they'll start at the 43. Tyson's got his second timeout. Direct handoff. And up the gut. For a gain of about 5 up to the 48. So that would be 5, setting up a 2nd and 5. Patrick Wright. And a nice push there from the offensive line. We shouted them out earlier. Really pushing the Braves back on their heels, not allowing a rush in. Jamar Coleman to the far side. Tyson Scott will hand it off. With room is Patrick Wright. He breaks it down. He's out towards the outside, breaking a couple tackles, trying to make some guys miss. Inside the 40, he's down all the way to the 37, and that's enough for an Eagles first down. For the first time tonight, they go in a little bit of a hurry-up. Tyson Scott back to the line in the shotgun. Takes a snap, hand off to right again. He's looking to bounce to the outside. He gets the edge and will dive forward close to the 25. We'll see where the referee spots him. Looks like maybe he stepped out with the left foot before he got the dive off down to the 28. Again, they go quickly, liking the rushing attack early on. This time they'll look to throw. Scott to the far side. Coleman has it, and he's into the end zone. A 28-yard touchdown strike with 4:13 to go. And the Eagles up by 2 scores. They wore the defense down with a lot of runs, and then they break out this pass to Jamar Coleman. Just beat him on the post and got to the pylon first. Jamar Coleman. They might want to start guarding him. Tetkowski again on, looking to make it 14-0. And he misses wide right. They'll settle for 13-0. The Braves punched in the mouth early. We'll see if they have a response. Again, 4:13 to go in the first quarter. The Braves searching for answers. Again, back deep for it is Mohamed Diallo. Looks like in front of him it's Karan Casey and Amari Gadsden. Tetkowski lines things up and will send it away from his own 40. We'll see if the Braves can get a spark. Tetkowski booms it away. This one more of a liner will skip into the end zone and be enough for a touchback. Yet again, the Braves will start at their own 20. This time looking for a different outcome. The Braves looking to make up for a lack of offensive production. Now whistle blows. But I think now we have a trainer running across the field. Potentially that's what the whistle was for. Maybe an injured player on the Braves sideline. Nonetheless, back to action here. We'll have to wait a little longer for the first play of the Braves' second offensive possession. Flag flies, illegal substitution, as I think that was Nikai Brown. Now back the Braves up to their own 15. First and 15 after the penalty. Robinson takes the snap under center. Gadsden can't get the outside edge, facing immediate pressure. He's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of 2 on the play. Second and 17 now. So the first a 5-yard penalty. Now an interesting offensive line shift. They're heavy to the left side, and another flag flies. This time it looks like maybe against the defense lined up in the neutral zone. They'll give the 5 yards back. That should bring up a 2nd and 12. Some sloppy execution so far on this drive. More flags than plays. Robinson, handoff Gadsden. He dives forward. And not much there. Maybe gets to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a 3rd and 12. Eagles looking for another early defensive stop. All the Braves look for a big-time conversion. Robinson, handoff to Gadsden. He finds some room on the left side, but not nearly enough. Gets past the original line in scrimmage. That should bring up about 4th and 7. I doubt in their position they'd go for it. Backed up so deep in their own end zone. And coming on to the field is Jamal Bernard to send it away. Bernard heels at his own 10. Will send it away to the Eagles. It's a high punt, doesn't go too far. Coleman calls for the fair catch. He dives, it's loose. Braves up with it. A flag does come in from the far side. And they're returning it. I think he was clearly down. It's whether the fumble was actually called or not. Again, flag did fly in from the near side all the way to the far side. The ref showing off quite the cannon. We'll look for the signal from the white hat to see if it was a fumble or maybe an illegal interference. Referee's still talking it over. And it is going to be a fair catch interference, it seems, as Coleman wasn't given the proper space to come up and make the catch. Hence, at least the referees say, why they dropped it. Head coach of the Eagles, Austin Brash, out onto the field, talking with the referee. And it looks like they'll elect to just take the penalty and not have them re-kick it. At least that's what it seems like. Ball's going to go all the way inside the 30 at the 29. And I think that's where the Eagles are going to take over with the 15-yard penalty. Little confusion here. I'm not exactly sure. And I think the Braves are confused themselves as their coaching staff talks over with the referees. And Scott with it for the Eagles. Hand off to right. He's making moves, and he's got enough for a first down. A pickup of 11 on the play. He's in towards the 18. Clock continues to wind towards 1 minute left. Another quick snap to right again. He stumbles, bounces off to the outside. He's still up with it, trying to get to the pylon. And a nice tackle on the far side by Karan Casey. We'll wait and see if that one comes back with a penalty on the play. Indeed it will, holding on the offense. That will bring up a 1st and 20. Although the referee still hasn't moved the ball yet. And now he will. So the Eagles will be set back. Looks like maybe instead of the 10-yard penalty, it's a penalty at the spot of the foul. Nonetheless, Eagles back on it. Scott, handoff this time. It's to Niall Waters, and he is smacked at the end of the run. Comes down hard. Nice hit on the play from Kaleem Lassiter. Second and 12 now. Tyson Scott runs back into the huddle. He'll deliver the play. Clock continues to wind. Handoff again to Waters. Goes forward. Looks like he got the original line of scrimmage. Maybe setting up a 3rd and 9. But that play will happen when we come back for second quarter action here on SFBN. After 1 quarter of play, 13-0 the lead for the George Washington Eagles. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Hitting is part of football.
Back to Charles Martin Memorial Stadium here at Northeast High School, where the George Washington Eagles lead by a score of 13-0 over the John Bartram Braves. A dominant performance so far from the Eagles, and they're looking to add on more. They'll now attack the right side end zone. Tyson Scott fakes the handoff. He's going to take it himself. Gets a block. And gains about 6 on the play. Jaden Tucker does well. That's going to bring up fourth. Bring up 4th and 1. Eagles offense stays out. Stays out on the field. The senior quarterback Tyson Scott back into the huddle with the play. He's got Patrick Wright behind him. And maybe jumping off sides there. And an automatic first down as Tyson Scott able to draw. Looks like that's Hamza Thompson offside. And that will be an automatic first down. That will bring up 1st and goal at the 4. So not sure if that was the result of a Tyson Scott hard count or just some overzealous defenders. Nonetheless, 1st and goal. Right on the hip of Scott. Scott takes a snap. He's looking to pass. Now he's going to run it himself. Makes a move inside. Gets in for a touchdown. We'll wait to see if it stands, as there's a flag on the play in addition to an injured Eagle. And it's not going to stand. That's a touchdown holding on the offense. It looks like it's the center, Martin Gortsky. He's going to have to take at least a play off here. Replacing him is Brunelson Bonhame. And now 1st and goal from the 14 after the 10-yard penalty on the hold. Two receivers to the far side. Jamar Coleman to the near side. Scott fumbles the snap. It's a high one, and he's able to fall on it. So that's something to keep an eye on. Brunelson Bonhame, his first snap in the game. And it's a high one. And coming right back into the game is Martin Gortsky. Out for one play. He's right back in. After the high snap, that's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 23. So a ways to go to the goal line. A receiver to either side. Flag flies before the play. And it looks like a delay of game on the offense. They'll go even further back. 2nd and goal now from the 28. So now really the first sign of offensive troubles here from the Eagles, and it's really themselves just getting in their own way. It's not the Braves defense doing anything spectacular. In fact, the Braves gifted them a first down on a 4th and short. Here's Scott facing pressure, and he's hammered into the ground. Screaming off the left edge, Kasim Wright. Puts Scott on the turf. Take another look at this one. And untouched to the quarterback, Omar Muhammad, maybe not on the same page with the play. He looked to block on the combo block inside, left the man on the outside with a free lane to the quarterback, and Kasim Wright did not miss it, burying Tyson Scott into the ground. Now, ball at the 35, 3rd and goal. Pass off to Patrick Wright. He's looking to get to the outside, and he's close. It's not going to be enough. And in there at quarterback after the hit, that was Keyshawn Robinson, the freshman. After the heavy hit on Tyson Scott. The Eagles will send out the kicking team. Will be about a 26-yard field goal here for Tetkowski, the lefty. And now timeout is called on the field by the Eagles. 8:49 to go. We'll step aside for just a moment.
Bluestein, Michael & Company, certified public accountants, believe that your bottom line is as important to them as it is to you. Why? Because they care about the things that you care about. Whereas most accountants can take your numbers and put them on financial statements and tax returns, Bluestein and Michael work with you through the year to help you solve problems by providing sound professional advice. They enable you to make key business decisions, and they are with you throughout the entire year, not just tax time. Bluestein and Michael are not just hired hands. They are part of your team, and they provide professional service when you need it most. Bluestein and Michael specialize in accounting, tax, and consulting services for small businesses, primarily for the construction industry. If you're looking for yes men, hire someone else. But if you want sound advice from service-oriented CPAs, then you'll want to call Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200. That's Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200.
After the word from Bluestein, Michael and Company, we're back. Tetkowski not on the field anymore. They'll look to fire to the outside. It's not going to be enough on 4th down, and a turnover on downs. Pass was complete to the outside to Ja'Kai Stevenson by way of Keyshawn Robinson, still in the game after that hard hit on Tyson Scott. Eagles seemingly looking to put the game away there, essentially, in the first half. They had their field goal unit on the field before the timeout they call time and change things up. So now the Braves will take over deep in their own territory. Probably part of the reason that the Eagles were comfortable with going for it instead of the field goal. Pinned back in their own end zone. Samad Robinson takes the snap. He's going to run it up himself. Makes a man miss. Looking to get to the outside. Cuts back on the inside. He could go. Patrick Wright, the only one that would be able to catch him. And he's going to go all the way. Samad Robinson, coast to coast for 6. And now a late flag on the play. We'll see what the call is. And it looks like maybe the referees picked up the flag. Looks like it's still the Braves offense. On the field, they'll look to go for 2 to cut the lead to 5. One receiver at either side. Robinson takes a snap. He's going to hand off. Gadsden up the middle. He's going to be tackled short of the line to gain. A 2-point conversion unsuccessful. But we'll take another look at that 97-yard touchdown from Samad Robinson. Makes a man miss there. Gets a nice block from Nakai Brown. And he said, "See you later," all the way to the house, breathing life into the Braves sideline. We'll see if their defense can step up. After the offensive surge there from Robinson. The Eagles will take over now after the kick, 8:26 on the clock. Omar Kaita to send it away. Toe blows it. I think that's not Patrick Wright. It's actually going to be Ja'Kai Stevenson, the short man, on the return. As the kick didn't get all the way to the returners, it was Ja'Kai Stevenson who picked it up and ran with it. Good news here for the Eagles, back out. Back out to lead the offense is Tyson Scott. Missed a couple plays on the last drive after taking a hefty hit. He hands it off here, Patrick Wright. Tackled from behind, and he spins loose. And he's into Braves territory. Tackled at the 44. And Kasim Wright had him wrapped up from behind, but he spun loose and kept the wheels churning for a first down and more. Josiah James laid onto the field for the Braves. Here's Patrick Wright. Can't go anywhere. He's tackled in the backfield. Mackay Darby in on the tackle. The big fella making things happen. In the backfield, no shot there for the Eagles. After the loss on the play on the Darby tackle, 2nd and 12 now. 2 receivers to the far side. We'll see if they air it out. Scott takes the snap. It's low. He hands it off. Up with it is Niall Waters. And he's back past the original line of scrimmage. A gain of about 5 should bring up 3rd and 8. And it looks like maybe grabbing his hand on the interior offensive line is the right guard, Cesar Colon. He'll stay out on the field. 3rd and long, 8 yards to go. The line to gain, the 34. 2 receivers to the far side. Scott fakes pass, now is going to take it up the gut himself. He's got plenty of room, now finds the outside. 2 men to beat, cuts back in the inside, stays on his feet, and he's in. Touchdown, 42-yard scamper, and the Eagles answer right back. Take another look at this one. Fake the pass, got up the middle, and then Worked his way to the outside before evading the missed tackle from Amar Gatson as he cut back inside. And it looks like the Eagles will go for two here, up by 13, trying to push it to 21-6. Just one man in the backfield. That's Waters. He gets it. Trying to get towards the outside. And a nice tackle to make sure that doesn't happen. Sirman Singare on the tackle to keep it a 13-point lead. So after the Braves worked themselves back into the game, obviously still plenty of time left, Washington answers right back. Tyson Scott saw a long quarterback run from the Braves and said, hey, I can do that too. A little shorter, but still a 42-yard scramble all the way to the end zone for 6. .6:21 to go, still in the first half. Tetkowski to send it away. Back deep for it, Karan Casey. Now it's going to go to the other side. And getting flipped on his head at the 25. I believe that's Mohamed Diallo. Nice tackle on the play. Couple guys in on the tackle. Ray Talley, I think, got down there. Couple others as well. Beating the coverage. Still won't. The most advantageous field position the Braves have had to start. An option play here. Here's Gatson. Finds the outside. He's at the 40 and knocked out of bounds. Right about there. Nice tackle. What a good run for on the pitch for Gatson. He was forced out of bounds there on the play by Donnell Stevens. Gatson able to pick the first down up there. Two receivers to the far side on this 1st and 10 from the 38. One receiver to the near side, that's Karan Casey. Two guys in the backfield. Robinson, another option, pitching it to Gatson. Trying to get the outside, he does yet again. Another first down. First pitch is to the left side, second pitch to the right side, 2 first downs. So perhaps the Braves finding something that works. And I got to commend the play call, though, from James Akemi. Now the Eagles have to respect the running ability of the quarterback, Samad Robinson, after he went 90-plus yards all the way down the field, and using that as a way to get his running backs involved. We highlighted at the beginning of the broadcast Amari Gadsden, the junior running back, a 2023 All-Public League selection. So smart over the Braves to get him involved. This time Robinson keeping it on the keeper, no success. Terrell Kilson and Jakai Stevenson in on the tackle in the backfield. Ball spotted at the 49. 2nd and 14. Braves looking to cross back into the Eagles' territory. Robinson working to his left, now tries to cut back up the middle. And he's still breaking tackles. Ball comes loose. Who's up with it? I think the Braves fall on it after a strong run from Robinson, unable to keep possession at the end. But I think he was bailed out by a teammate there. I think that's Yesai McCain. Would have been a costly turnover there as the Braves look to get back on the board and cut the Washington lead. After the run, it's 3rd and 6. Stephen Green now in at quarterback, replacing Robinson. And it does not go well. Green tackled in the backfield after running in to his own teammate. Perhaps knowing the play better than Green was Jaden Tucker as he surged into the backfield. And after that play, Samad Robinson checks back in. Fourth and long. They were able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. So it's 4th and 10, line to gain the 37 of the Eagles. 2 receivers to either side. Robinson takes the shotgun snap, drops back, is facing pressure, trying to escape to the outside, and stays on his feet. And he's tackled at the 40, short of the line to gain. A nice tackle from Jamar Coleman, doing it on both ends of the field. A couple nice tackles defensively, and a 28-yard reception for a touchdown. So a turnover on downs. The Eagles offense back onto the field. They've got 19 points. Looking to add on with 2:04 to go in the first half. They'll get it at their own 40. So we'll need 60 yards in 2 minutes and 4 seconds for a touchdown. Late to get off the field is David Perry of the Braves, and they call time out. Their second of the half. They'll have one more remaining. A message from our sponsors before we come back.
At Independence Blue Cross, we know where you come from is a part of who you are. That's why we get to know our members and their communities, which are also our communities. For more than 85 years, we've lived here, volunteered here, and earned our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. We're your hometown partner for life, and we'll never stop looking out for you.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922.
Scott takes the snap. He's looking to throw. Doesn't find an option. He's going to run it himself now. Spins past midfield. Still on his feet. He stumbles. He's still going down the right-hand sideline. Has a couple blockers. Still on his feet. Continues to go. Tackled inside the 10. A penalty on the play. We'll see if it comes back. Based on the spot of the foul, I'd imagine it does come back. But nonetheless, what an individual effort there from Tyson Scott. Should have been tackled multiple times. And we'll take another look at it for good measure. Drops back, finally looking to pass. Doesn't see an option. And just goes to work. What a move there. Past midfield. That's 3 missed tackles already. A couple more there. And finally taken down from behind by Keyshawn Wright. Now, a couple guys down on the field for Bartram. Kasim Wright able to get up with a little bit of help. And now Sirmain Singare able to get up and without too much help walk off the field. So the Scott run is unfortunately erased. If you're a Washington fan, 1:46 on the clock, ball at the 46. Three receivers split out to the far side. Scott takes another look over as the refs continue to talk to each other. And they blow the whistle. And Scott takes a snap. Looks to air it out over the middle. And just unable to come up with it. That's Ja'Kai Stevenson. He laid out for it. And it looks like maybe the ground poked it loose at the end as he was airborne as he hit the turf. Really nice effort, though, from Ja'Kai Stevenson. Personally, I didn't really think he was going to be able to catch up with it. I thought Scott maybe aired it out a little too far. But he got 2 hands on it, just unable to corral it. So 2nd and 4 to line to gain midfield. Scott takes a snap, gets it to Patrick Wright. Wright brought down, but not before he gets the first down. Bringing him down was Kasim Wright. They get back on the ball quickly, less than a minute and a half to go. Scott takes a snap. Handoff here to Wright. He goes up the gut. Tries to keep the legs churning. He's turned back at about the 43. And a timeout taken here from Washington as they look to preserve the clock. 1:17 to go. We'll step aside for just a moment.
Hitting is part of football.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Back to action after the timeout. Scott takes the snap, drops back, looking to his left. He has a man, and it's just out of bounds. Jamar Coleman was all alone on the left side, but Tyson Scott couldn't connect with him. Now will bring up 3rd and 5. They need to get to the 37 for a first down. 1:12 to go in the first half. Tyson Scott jogs back into the huddle and relays the play from Austin Brash. They go towards the line, 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Scott looks over at the coach. Now takes the shotgun snap. Faces pressure, gets the screen off to Patrick Wright. He makes a move to the inside. Now trying to go all the way, crossing over to the right side. Still on his feet. Inside the 10. He's finally brought down by a bevy of Bartram defenders. In on the tackle, Karan Casey. But potentially all for naught. The play will come back because of a holding. On that play, Bartram actually had a free runner, but I believe it was by design as Washington let a guy come off the left-hand side and just dinked it right over his head to Patrick Wright, who did the rest. But it was called back because of a hold. The Washington players have certainly excelled in the open field, making moves left and right and showing an innate ability to stay on their feet through contact. And now George Washington takes their 3rd and final timeout. 46 seconds to go in the half. We'll step aside for just a moment.
Bluestein, Michael and Company, certified public accountants, believe that your bottom line is as important to them as it is to you. Why? Because they care about the things that you care about. Whereas most accountants can take your numbers and put them on financial statements and tax returns, Bluestein and Michael work with you through the year to help you solve problems by providing sound professional advice. They enable you to make key business decisions, and they are with you throughout the entire year, not just tax time. Bluestein and Michael are not just hired hands. They are part of your team, and they provide professional service when you need it most. Bluestein and Michael specialize in accounting, tax, and consulting services for small businesses, primarily for the construction industry. If you're looking for yes men, hire someone else. But if you want sound advice from service-oriented CPAs, then you'll want to call
Final 46 seconds. But first a flag. And I think that's again a legal substitution. Not exactly the execution you want out of the timeout. If you're head coach Austin Brash. Scott looking to pass. Drills it deep. That one's going to be, should have been intercepted. Samad Robinson and Stephen Green, looks like they had a miscommunication there on who was going to intercept it. They both went up for it, and it falls down to the ground. An injured George Washington Eagle on the play. I think that's Jamar Coleman. Take another look at this one. See right there, Robinson goes up for it, potentially getting his hands in the way of Green coming down with it. In fact, they've both played quarterback in this game. Both playing DB there. Missed opportunity there for Bartram. Would have had the ball back with 39 seconds left. Probably with decent field position after a return. Now with 4th and about 19, Tetkowski will punt it away. Back deep is Gadsden. It bounces before it gets it. Tetkowski is able to get it off. It's a high punt. It hits a Washington player, and Gadsden will let it roll inside the 20 down to about the 16. But because it hit that Washington player, the Braves of Bartram should take over where the ball hit the player, which was closer to the area of the 35. And so, 34 is where Bartram takes over. .25 seconds left. And Bartram takes time. That's their third and final timeout of the quarter. We'll stay right here on SFBN for the final timeout of the half. Gives us an opportunity to do a quick recap of what we've seen in terms of scoring. Jaden Tucker with a short touchdown reception opened the scoring at 8 minutes and 27 seconds in the first quarter. Then a Jamar Coleman receiving touchdown from 28 yards at 4:13 left in the first quarter, a 13-0 lead, which George Washington held for a decent while before Samad Robinson got Bartram on the board about 4 minutes in to the second quarter with that long rushing touchdown, brought the score to 13-6. And about 2 minutes later, 42-yard run from the opposing team's quarterback, Tyson Scott. And that's how we got to the 19-6 lead for George Washington. Stephen Green in at quarterback here. And before he's able to do anything, a false start is called on Bartram. And it looks like the man manning the quarterback position for much of the night, Samad Robinson, was actually going out on the route there. A little double quarterback action. .25 seconds on the clock now, 1st and 15 after the false start. Robinson still in the game, but not at quarterback. He's split out all the way to the far sideline. Stephen Green, the quarterback, 2 receivers to either side. He's looking to his right, faces pressure, steps up, ball's loose on the strip sack. And coming up with it is George Washington. And now the tables have turned, and George Washington will look to add to their lead just before the half. They'll have 16 seconds to do so as they poke the ball loose, and will have the ball at the Braves 31. So Washington's offense back out onto the field, looking to add to the 13-point lead. Tyson Scott takes the snap, hands it off to Patrick Wright, who buries ahead for a couple yards. Washington looks to get quickly back to the line. We'll see if they run a play or spike it. They spike it. Are we saying that's with 1 second left on the clock? They spike it just in time, and it looks like they're going to give Steven Tetkowski an opportunity to add to the lead. This is going to be a far field goal. Tetkowski sets up at the 35. That would make it a 45-yard field goal, something you do not see often in high school football. Tetkowski gives it a ride, and it looks like it's blocked, and up with it to try to return it is Karan Casey. He's on the far side, hounded from behind, and he's taken down, and that will do it for the first half of action from Charles Martin Memorial Stadium at Northeast High School. 19-6, a 13-point lead in favor of Washington over the visiting Bartram. Stay tuned for second half action of this Ted Silary Game of the Week.
Hitting is part of football.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Bluestein, Michael & Company, certified public accountants, believe that your bottom line is as important to them as it is to you. Why? Because they care about the things that you care about. Whereas most accountants can take your numbers and put them on financial statements and tax returns, Bluestein and Michael work with you through the year to help you solve problems by providing sound professional advice. They enable you to make key business decisions, and they are with you throughout the entire year, not just tax time. Bluestein and Michael are not just hired hands. They are part of your team, and they provide professional service when you need it most. Bluestein and Michael specialize in accounting, tax, and consulting services for small businesses, primarily for the construction industry. If you're looking for yes men, hire someone else. But if you want sound advice from service-oriented CPAs, then you'll want to call Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200. That's Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
At Independence Blue Cross, we know where you come from is a part of who you are. That's why we get to know our members and their communities, which are also our communities. For more than 85 years, we've lived here, volunteered here, and earned our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. We're your hometown partner for life. And we'll never stop looking out for you.
bring you back for the second half of this one here on SFBN, and we'll take you through some first half highlights. Early on in the game, here's a Tyson Scott run. Getting to the outside. Gain of about 25 yards there. This time in the air, Scott to Coleman, who brought it down with two defenders on him. Threatening for the first score of the game, Scott rolls and finds the wide open Jaden Tucker. Gets in for 6. And with the extra point, they take the 7-0 lead. Here's Samad Robinson staying on his feet, showing off his ability as a runner, which we'll see more of that in these highlights. Here's a Patrick Wright run, although he was going to his left. There's Tyson Scott airing it out again towards that right sideline, and there to catch it. And for the touchdown was Jamar Coleman. There's a nice sack from the Bartram defense. Started to ignite the team just a bit. Coming off the edge there was Kasim Wright. Now with the backup quarterback in, another screen to Patrick Wright. Getting knocked out of bounds there by the quarterback and defensive back, Samad Robinson from Bartram. Now the Samad Robinson turning on the burners after he makes the cut upfield, and he was gone. Patrick Wright couldn't catch up to him, and that got Bartram on the board. They would go for 2, but be unable to convert. That brought the score to 13-6. Here's Patrick Wright staying on his feet, twisting around defenders in to Bartram territory. Another Tyson Scott run as he got the outside edge, stayed on his feet to cut back in to the end zone on the 42-yard rushing touchdown. They would go for 2 there and not be able to convert. That brought the score to 19-6, which is where we stand. A couple more highlights, though, from the first half. There's Tyson Scott. This play would unfortunately be called back, but what a run. Spin move, high step, showing off the speed as well. Was the senior quarterback. And the final play, Stephen Green getting stripped from behind. Washington would be unable to make any offense happen out of that. Nonetheless, they had enough offense to take the lead into the second half. Back to live action now from Charles Martin Memorial Stadium at Northeast High School. 13-point lead for Washington over Bartram in the second game of a Ted Silary Game of the Week doubleheader. The first one, a low-scoring affair, 3-0 South Philly over MLK down at the South Philly Super Site. They go onside kick out of the gates, and the whistle blows. And not exactly sure. It ended up getting past Kaleem Lassiter. But now, not sure they're going to be able to do that again. They lined up offside, but even if they do it again, now the element of surprise no longer there. Out of the halftime break. So Steven Tetkowski will now send it off from his 35. I'd imagine he just kicks it deep here after Washington kind of showed their hand with that one. Tetkowski whispers something into the ear of Aaron Armour. And we'll see what he does here. They'll go for it again. And it bounces off the hands, and who's going to come up with it? It's loose on the ground. I think Bartram is up with it. Yesai McCann. That one bounced around, and even with no element of surprise, Kaleem Lassiter couldn't catch it at first. Then it bounced off a couple defenders. I think it was Jaden Tucker, though, from George Washington, who nearly got onto it, bounced off his hands, and finally the possession will go to the Bartram Braves. They'll start at their own 44. Two receivers to the near side, one to the far. Samad Robinson with two running backs in the backfield. He hands it off, and not getting anywhere is Bakari Keita. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. That will bring up 2nd and 10. Nice play by the interior defensive line of George Washington. First time we've really seen Keita featured on the offense. He'll come out of the game now. Similar formation. This time, though, it's Ali Cohn in that fullback position. They run behind him, and he gets a good block, but Amari Gatson is stuffed in the hole. Meeting him there was Sabir Bryan. Donnell Stevens joined him. And they did end up running, did Bartram, behind Ali Cohn, the fullback, but Gatson blown up in the hole. Washington had it all the way. 3rd and 7 now. Washington looks to force a 3-and-out. Bartram looks to continue their opening drive of the second half. Robinson, naked bootleg, makes a man miss. Still on his feet, now is going to come back the other way. And finally taken down, able to get him down, was Ja'Kai Stevenson. That play from Samad Robinson looked like a user play in CFB 25. Running around all through the backfield. Far side, near side, finally taken down by Stevenson. And Bartram will have to punt it away. To do that will be Jamal Bernard. Back deep to receive Jamar Coleman. Bernard heels inside his 30. He's going to take it and run it himself. Bernard needs to make a man miss. He stays on his feet. He's going to be close. He's past the 50, but the line to gain, he'll be short by about 3 or 4 yards. Not exactly sure if that was the play call or just the snap kind of put Bernard in make a play mode and he had to get something done. Nonetheless, good field position for the first possession of the second half for the Washington Eagles. Down on the play is a Bartram player. While he's being looked at, Washington will huddle up and plan their first offensive possession of the half. Player still down. We'll take a timeout right here on SFBN.
At Independence Blue Cross, we know where you come from is a part of who you are. That's why we get to know our members and their communities, which are also our communities. For more than 85 years, we've lived here, volunteered here, and earned our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. We're your hometown partner for life, and we'll never stop looking out for you.
Kasim Wright was able to get up and limp off. We'll check in and see if he comes back into this game. He's been a noteworthy player, especially on the defensive end, making a lot of tackles in the gaps, and does have that sack as we saw him scream, off the edge and put Tyson Scott into the ground. Back to action now. 9:29 to go in the third quarter. Scott takes it, gives it off Patrick Wright. He's to the left side, gets a block, and evades the shoelace tackle. He's still going. Down towards the 31. I mean, this George Washington team is tough to bring down, especially Patrick Wright and the quarterback Tyson Scott. They've been breaking tackles all evening. Large part why they lead by 13, 19-6 over Bartram. Scott, another handoff. This time going nowhere is Patrick Wright. And smothering him is Saramain Singare. Nice defensive play from Bartram. That will put Washington behind the sticks. Ball spotted at the 35. Excuse me. They've got to get to the markers in between the 22 and 23. So second and about 13. Scott fakes the handoff. He's going to run it himself to the left side. Looking for a block. He's not going to get one, but he's still moving. And more than enough for a first down. Ball comes loose at the end. I think he was already ruled down. So the Washington Eagles will maintain possession and have a new set of downs inside the 20. Tyson Scott has been nearly impossible to bring down all evening long. Two receivers split out to the right side, one to the far side. Scott, not going to look that way. He's going to run it that way, though. Bounces to the outside, cuts back in, still on his feet, making men miss. He's into the end zone. Flag does fly as bodies collide. A lot of carnage on the field. Couple players down. We'll see if the play stands, and it's going to come back. I believe another holding call there. But again, no one can seem to get Tyson Scott on the ground. Had to have broken 3 or 4 tackles just on that one play. Gets the spot of the play foul. Again, we'll bring up 1st and 11. Scott, handoff to Wright. He's nearly tackled in the backfield, and now finally is. Making the initial pressure was Sirman Singari. and taking him down. Karan Casey and Bakari Kaita both in on the tackle. That'll set them back further behind the sticks. 2nd and 14. Bartram looking for a big defensive stand, ideally a turnover. Two receivers to the far side. Scott hands it off the right. He's up the gut. Now bounces to the outside. Spins away from one ankle tackle. Lowers his shoulder. Reaches for the end zone. Does he have it? Yes. Touchdown, Patrick Wright. I mean, it's incredible. Patrick Wright and Tyson Scott just do not go down. Take another look at this play. I thought there he would go. He spins out of there. And here he lowers his shoulder, working against Karan Casey, and lunges for the end zone. Tetkowski in for the extra point. It's held, puts it up, and it is good with much room to spare. That will extend the lead to 26-6. Washington up by 20 on the back of a strong game from their running back and quarterback duo. Tyson Scott, the quarterback, and Patrick Wright doing work in the backfield. Tetkowski lines up his gunners again. I'd assume no onside kick at this point. Although, I didn't think they were going to do it the second time last time, and they did. But typically up 20, not exactly what you're going to do. Tetkowski indeed does drive it deep. Back to receive Diallo. Diallo gets started at about the 10. Winds wide to the right side. An excellent kickoff coverage. Diallo unable to go anywhere. Making the tackle. Mike Anderson first down the field. Got some help as well. It looked like Diallo was really trying to get to that outside edge, but Anderson just cut him off and did not allow him to do so. Bartram now down 20, 5:50 to go in the third quarter. Looking to start any semblance of a comeback. Robinson with a fullback and a running back. He's going to air it out. Now he's going to run up the gut. Ahead for a gain of about 4 to the 20-yard line. Robinson looked like he wanted to pass. Just couldn't find any of his receivers. And now it looks like Samad Robinson a little banged up after the tackle. And if he's unable to stay into the game, it's been Stephen Green typically to back him up. Robinson will jog off the field. I'd expect he's able to come back into this one. But for now, it's Stephen Green running the offense. Two receivers to the near side. Excuse me, to the far side. Here's Green, faces pressure. Gonna throw it out. And unable to come up with the pass is Karan Casey. Might have heard the footsteps of Patrick Wright closing in on him. Jamar Coleman in the area as well. Samad Robinson does indeed check back in for Bartram. Pivotal play in this game if they want any chance. 3rd and 6. Robinson takes a snap and completes for a first down. Nakai Brown has enough. He's past the 30. And a late flag flies. Perhaps a late hit. It's on the far side, so didn't have the best look at it. Without the penalty, it was enough for a first down. So it's going to go against the defense. First down will stand. Bartram and Robinson haven't put it in the air much. That was one of only a few times they did, and they had some success. And I think the call will be for that late hit, which will move the ball up to the 45. Two receivers to the near side, one to the far. Robinson with two running backs in the backfield with him. Hands it off and not getting anywhere. I think that's Nakai Brown, and another flag flies. I think going against the defense yet again. So up 20. It's a solid lead, but that doesn't mean you want to become undisciplined. I'm sure head coach Austin Brash not exactly pleased with that execution. Along with his bevy of assistant coaches, 9 listed on the roster. So now after that penalty, it will be 1st and 10. Bartram in Washington territory, ball on the 40. Robinson hands it off, and trying to find room is Bakari Kaita. And he's stopped for no gain, bringing up 2nd and 10 as we wind below 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Two receivers to the near side. Robinson, handoff again to Kaita. He's up the gut and will have a solid gain as he kind of spun out of a pile of bodies. And now players waving on immediately for the trainer to come out onto the field for an injured player. I think that's Kaita. While Kaita is getting looked at, we're going to step aside here on SFBN and be back after a minute.
Bluestein, Michael and Company, certified public accountants, believe that your bottom line is as important to them as it is to you. Why? Because they care about the things that you care about. Whereas most accountants can take your numbers and put them on financial statements and tax returns, Bluestein and Michael work with you through the year to help you solve problems by providing sound professional advice. They enable you to make key business decisions, and they are with you throughout the entire year, not just tax time. Bluestein and Michael are not just hired hands. They are part of your team, and they provide professional service when you need it most. Bluestein and Michael specialize in accounting, tax, and consulting services for small businesses, primarily for the construction industry. If you're looking for yes men, hire someone else. But if you want sound advice from service-oriented CPAs, then you'll want to call Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200. That's Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200.
Kaita is able to get up and jog off the field. Clock continues to run towards 3 minutes to go. Samad Robinson takes the snap, hands it off here, and getting just a couple yards is Ali Cohn.
Good evening. Would the owner of a white Nissan license plate LYC 2625, we need you to move your car. You're blocking emergency vehicles. Thank you.
An announcement from the Washington AD, Charles Saki.
By the new athletic director.
For a vehicle parked in front of emergency vehicles. Now we're back. Robinson completes the pass and catch on 4th down. It's going to be enough for a conversion. He got it out wide for Mohamed Diallo. Did get hit hard. And now a penalty in the backfield, potentially on that hard hit. And that's what is going to be roughing the passer. That should be an additional 15 yards after the catch. So after the completion and additional penalty, Bartram at about the 12. Here's Robinson, handoff, plays blown dead, and it looks like maybe a false start. And that will be the call, so they'll back him up just a bit. Now we'll bring out 1st and 15 at the 17. It looks like they can still get a first down inside the 2. Bartram back. On the ball. And a false start by the left tackle. Would tell you his name, but he's not on the roster. So backed up another 5 yards. That'll bring up a 1st and 20 from the 22. Robinson rolls to his right, faces pressure, gets around, tosses it, and A little miscommunication there as his receivers had started the scramble drill coming back to him. He threw it behind them. So that's 2nd and 20 now. Bartram looking to chip away at the Washington lead and also the 20 yards they need for a first down. Robinson, after a chat with the sideline, comes back to the huddle and relays the message. Two receivers split to the far side. Karan Casey to the near side. A running back on either hip. And backed up yet again. Bartram will march back another 5 yards and bring up a 2nd and 25. Less than a minute to go. 20-point lead for George Washington. Bartram was close. Now they've been going backwards. Here's a high pass, is intercepted by Jamar Coleman. He's looking to turn it the other way. Cuts inside, still on his feet, spins away from a defender. Has one more to beat, stumbles over him. And now that gave enough time for Bartram to come back. And make the tackle at about the 45. Robinson let that one go sidearm, and it went above his target and into the hands of Jamar Coleman. Take another look at that. And he's showing that he doesn't go down easily. Finally taken down by Isai McCain. Back to live action. 21 seconds to go in the third quarter. Tyson Scott drops back to pass to his left, and getting under it is that's Donnell Stevens. We highlighted in the open. He had 59 yards and a touchdown pass in game one, and makes a nice move on the left-hand side and getting around the cornerback. That was Mohamed Diallo, couldn't catch up with him. That's the end of the third quarter. 26-6, Bartram up by 20. Final quarter, the fourth, when we come back.
Hitting is part of football.
At Independence Blue Cross, we know where you come from is a part of who you are. That's why we get to know our members and their communities, which are also our communities. For more than 85 years, we've lived here, volunteered here, and earned our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. We're your hometown partner for life, and we'll never stop looking out for you.
Time for the final quarter from Charles Martin Memorial Stadium at Northeast High School, where George Washington leads by 20, 26-6 over the visitors, John Bartram. Washington and Tyson Scott threatening for more. Fake handoff. He's going to try to get the outside edge. Gets a block, and I think that's going to get called as a block in the back. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. But I think Terrell Kilson is going to be called for a block in the back. Pretty blatant one there not a difficult call for the referee. But just yet another example of Tyson Scott running wild on this Bartram defense. Player from Bartram down on the field and will step aside while he's tended to.
Bluestein, Michael and Company, certified public accountants, believe that your bottom line is as important to them as it is to you. Why? Because they care about the things that you care about. Whereas most accountants can take your numbers and put them on financial statements and tax returns, Bluestein and Michael work with you through the year to help you solve problems by providing sound professional advice. They enable you to make key business decisions, and they are with you throughout the entire year, not just tax time. Bluestein and Michael are not just hired hands. They are part of your team, and they provide professional service when you need it most. Bluestein and Michael specialize in accounting, tax, and consulting services for small businesses, primarily for the construction industry. If you're looking for yes men, hire someone else. But if you want sound advice from service-oriented CPAs, then you'll want to call Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200. That's Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200.
Back to action just 8 seconds into the fourth quarter. A member of the Bartram Braves down on the field, able to get up and walk off under his own power. Coming around the formation and going is Donnell Stevens. He races to the pylon. Does he get there first? He does. Donnell Stevens all the way around the formation, started on the right-hand side and sweeped across and finished at the left pylon, adding to the Washington lead. Started in that right slot, took the handoff, and Donnell Stevens, a beeline to the pylon. He was not touched. Tetkowski in for the extra point. And chips it in. And 33-6. The lead with 11:31 to go in the game. Washington up over Bartram. Bartram has shown flashes, just not really able to put it together. Obviously the biggest flash of them all for Bartram, at least the 90-plus yard rushing touchdown from Samad Robinson as he rushed right to left. That's the only points as they went for the 2-point conversion, but could not convert. Tetkowski will send this one deep Waiting for it is Mohamed Diallo. Tetkowski approaches, and it will be Diallo. He'll let it go into the end zone for a touchback. Bartram. Will take over at their own 20. Down by 27. Bartram to the line. At this point, looking to gain momentum for next week. Stephen Green in at quarterback. Takes the shotgun snap. Looks to his left, now comes back to his right. Has a man streaking down the field. Can he hit him? Yes, he can. Karan Casey up with it. Breaking a couple ankles. He's still moving, and he's finally tackled in Washington territory, down inside the 45 all the way to the 43. Down behind the play is a GW player. That's the best passing action we've seen out of Bartram. Green, no options either side, then found Casey streaking down, and Casey then goes on to break a couple ankles. Ja'Kai Stevenson might want to go get him taped up. Member of the GW squad down behind the play will step aside. 11:14 to go. Washington in command.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the sports fan-based network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
All seems to be okay as we're back to action. Live from Charles Martin Memorial Stadium at Northeast High School. 11 minutes remain in the final quarter. Stephen Green in at quarterback. Two receivers to either side. He puts Casey in motion. Casey will take the end around handoff, trying to find the left edge, and he's tackled from behind. Way to read the play. Sabir Bryan chased him from behind. That should bring up 2nd and 12. The chain gang, a little confused, had 4th down up there. Can't confuse our producer, though, Sean Riley. He's always on it. Green still in at quarterback. Gets the shotgun snap, looks to his right, steps up in the pocket. He's going to be on the run. Makes one man miss. He'll get down to the 40 and set up a 3rd and about 7. Bartram looking to continue one of their better drives. Stephen Green runs back into the huddle with the play. Two receivers will split out to either side. Gadsden in the backfield. And pressured from the blind side. Stephen Green is brought down. Making the tackle, number 51. Promptly not on the roster. But shout out number 51. No one saw him coming. And he got the sack. And now 4th and 13 for Bartram. Again, 2 guys splitting out to either side. Gadsden now on the left side, potentially staying in for protection. He doesn't find a guy. Now Green evading pressure, holding on, airs it out deep downfield, and that is intercepted. Coming the other way is Jonathan Weatherby. He's down the sideline, flag on the play. 3 of them, in fact, and he's brought down at around the 50. I believe all those flags came in on the return. Nonetheless, plenty of yellow on the field, and I'm not talking about the GW helmets. Another look at this brought to you by our producer Sean Riley and our cameraman Ryan Woodman. Green evades pressure there and just couldn't find his man, and waiting there for it was Weatherby. As you saw in that replay, I think a couple blocks in the back might be the call. Quarterback Stephen Green took some hits as well. Referee running through multiple penalties. Multiple penalties. Couple declined. And I think in the end, a roughing the passer. A legal hit of some type, even if it wasn't on the passer, potentially. And Bartram will maintain possession with 7:52 to go. Bartram will line up on the ball. Donovan Johnson, the center, lines up at the Washington 30. Samad Robinson back in the game. As we saw, Stephen Green looks like he took a shot on that play. Robinson takes the snap, hands it off to Gadsden. Gadsden tries to find a hole, and he's stifled. 4 blue jerseys in on the tackle. Choose whoever you want to make the tackle. Patrick Wright in there. And now Bartram takes time. 7:06 to go in the final quarter here from Northeast High School.
At Independence Blue Cross, we know where you come from is a part of who you are. That's why we get to know our members and their communities, which are also our communities. For more than 85 years, we've lived here, volunteered here, and earned our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. We're your hometown partner for life, and we'll never stop looking out for you.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Bartram looking to add to their 6 points. Gadsden takes the Wildcat snap, trying to find room to the left side. Sneaks through for a couple yards. Not nearly enough for a first down. Should bring up 3rd and 7. As a Wildcat snap to the running back, Gadsden. Looks like we might see that again. There'll be a delay in seeing it again as nearly the entire offensive line jumped offside. Won't single out any of the linemen, but just about all of them jumping for joy, despite the fact that they're down 33-6. Bartram back to the line now, behind the sticks. They run the play. Here's Green back into the game, escapes pressure, flag flies. Tries to get a throw off as he's falling to the ground, and it falls out of bounds. We'll take another look at the flag. Whistles continue to blow. Whistles blow. Clock not running. Referee comes together to place the ball. And says something, but from up here in the press box, couldn't tell you what he said. Didn't really make too much of a hand motion. At least I could see. Granted, the players were standing directly in front of him. They whistle for the clock to run, and now they blow it dead. Looks like a little too much chatter from one of the George Washington assistants. And getting thrown out of the game is one of the assistants from George Washington. He'll head for an early shower. Nothing wrong with getting in the shower before the players get there. Might be advisable. Now Bartram inside the 10. Samad Robinson back into the game. Referee now walks back towards the huddle, making some complaint. Two referees stand over the ball. And this game has slowed to a snail's pace. They blow the whistle and wind the arm. The clock continues to move now. Less than 5 1/4 to go. Robinson takes a snap, looks to throw, now he's going to run it. Trying to beat his man to the pylon, lowers his shoulder, spins, and he's in for the touchdown. Samad Robinson now accountable for all 12 of the Bartram points. As we take another look at this one, he looked like he wanted to throw and then felt immediate pressure and escaped towards the right side and went shoulder to shoulder and won that battle against Jonathan Weatherby. And it looks like Bartram is going to go for the extra point. Karan Casey to hold. Bernard to kick. Hold is good. Kick is up and good. 33-13 after the Robinson touchdown and Bernard extra point. Couple ticks above 5 minutes to go. And Bernard to kick things off. And give the ball back. To GW. Little bit of a delay here. What's new? Jamal Bernard to send it off to GW. It's a little bit of a squib. And it goes out of bounds. That's illegal. And now a late flag on a late hit. Tempers could start to flare here. Game not really in reach. Washington a commanding 20-point lead. Bartram with some frustration. After the penalties are sorted out, George Washington will take over at midfield. And timeout on the field, 4:40 to go. 33-13, a dominant showing from Washington.
Hitting is part of football.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show.
After the timeout, ball still at midfield. Tyson Scott still in the game. Coleman in motion, fakes the handoff. Scott with it down the left-hand sideline. He's still going with a blocker in front. He has the sideline, one man to beat. Stays in bounds, and he's finally ripped out of bounds. Inside the 5, down to the 3. Another impressive run for Tyson Scott. Without having the stats in front of me, I'd have to say. probably over 100 yards on the ground at this point, as that one is good for 47 yards on the ground. Scott in the pistol, takes a snap, hands off, and up the gut for a touchdown. Aaron Armour gets on the board. The senior running back. And now flag comes in way after the play. Whistles blow. I think the touchdown still stands, but the penalty will be enforced on the kick. Steven Tetkowski on. Trying to get GW to the 40-point plateau. The line drive kick is up and good. 40-13. GW extends the lead here at Northeast High School over the visiting John Bartram Braves. .326 on the clock. Tetkowski will have to kick off from the 25. Because although the touchdown stood, the penalty was enforced on the kick. Tetkowski now sprints over to his coach to get some direction. Seems to point with his arm to the left. I think that is a good idea. Kick it to the left across your screen. Might be advisable. Tetkowski lines up. And will look to send it off. Back to return it is Khalif Cuffey. He starts on the right-hand side and goes all the way to the left, and he's taken out of bounds at about the 36. Unsurprisingly, yet another flag on the play. Holding on the return team, that's Bartram. And so after the penalty, Bartram will start at their own 25. It's Stephen Green in the shotgun with a running back to either side. He looks to his left, stares that side down, throws that way, and he completes the pass, but to a teammate on the sidelines, out of bounds, was not involved in the play. Can you blame him, though? He saw a wide open white jersey and said, hey, that's my team. Let me throw it over. Perhaps, maybe it's more effective to pass to the right side of the field where the sideline is wearing blue jerseys. That might aid. In differentiating. Green again in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the far side. Looks that way, now comes back to the right side. Finds Gadsden underneath. He's tripped up almost immediately. That's a nice tackle on the play. Simeon Woods in on the tackle. Less than 3 minutes to go. Same formation. Green looks to his right, rolls that way. Looking down the sideline, it's a high lofted pass, and it falls incomplete on the sideline. No chance for Karan Casey to haul it in. Getting a lot of support on the sideline was the cornerback in the vicinity. That's Terrell Kilson. His fellow teammates showing him some love. Stephen Green walks back into the huddle with the play from his coach. Fourth and long. Green tries to set up the offense. It's going to be 3 receivers to the far side. Green looks that way, finds a man on the screen. That's Dante Bundick. Tries to make some moves, and he's tackled at the 30. Turnover on downs. George Washington takes over with 2:05 to go. And what is more than likely the last possession of the game, as we would expect that George Washington would just run the clock out. Already up by 27. Tyson Scott still in the game, hands it off to Niall Waters, who picks up a solid gain of about 9, bringing up 2nd and short. Tyson Scott and the George Washington Eagles obviously in no hurry, just trying to wind the clock down as it approaches a minute. Handoff here to Waters. He'll be stuffed for no gain, bringing up 3rd and short. We hit the 1 minute mark. Scott now gets The call from his coach. Heads into the huddle with 20 seconds left. Probably has one more play to run. And then we can call it. But a flag flies. And a delay of game. It is so they could run the clock out, but one rush would have done the same thing. But perhaps don't want to put the ball in harm's way with a fumble or something like that. Clock winds. And we are final here from Charles Martin Memorial Stadium at Northeast High School. A dominant 40-13 win for George Washington over John Bartram. Washington improves to 1-1. They'll face off against Mastery North next Friday. For the Bartram Braves, they fall to 0-2 and will take on Upper Moreland next Thursday. We thank everyone for tuning in here on SFBN for the second game of the Ted Silary doubleheader game of the week. Also want to give a shout out to our crew producing Sean Riley and our cameraman Ryan Woodman. I'm Zachary Feinberg saying enjoy your Labor Day weekend.